All right. All right, guys. So finishing up, the last thing that we need to look at today is actually take really good notes on this. You will have to do this in your project. Yay. We are going to work on our project Monday and Tuesday right before break, because I only have you guys Monday, Tuesday next week. Yeah, Thanksgiving's next week. You guys get Wednesday, Thursday, Friday off. So we only have Monday, Tuesday next week, and they're going to both be project days. So the goal, obviously, is to finish the next project Tuesday before you leave, so that over Thanksgiving break you don't have to worry about it. This chapter, like credit cards. We're actually, the big part of the project is the next one, you're buying a car. If it's in your budget. No, this isn't like the vacation where you can plan really huge. No, you're going to buy within budget. We're going to buy within budget. Your project. You go back to the part of your project that has your budgeting, and you'll see what you have to buy. Your monthly budget. So you'd have to make sure your payment for whatever car you buy is within budget. In this scenario, and honestly, a lot of times in real life, you take out a loan for a car. Yeah. All right, so here we go, guys. So this next part, in your notes, this slide, this is where we're at, so we left off on Tuesday. I would highlight this, circle it, star it, whatever you need. This is step-by-step how to do this. Everybody got that? Because looking at what we're doing next, that big credit card statement that we're going to be filling out, you don't necessarily do everything in the order of the boxes that they're listed at. You got to find different things first. So this is where step-by-step tells you how to do it. So step 1, payments and credits. So you're going to add up any payments that you make. Okay? Step 2, add up all the new purchases. Step 3, your monthly periodic rate. So you take your APR and divide it by 12. Step 4, average daily balance. Right? Honestly, the hardest part of this whole thing is right there at number 4. And you're like, average daily balance, that wasn't hard, right? You're like 4 days, it was this one. 6 days, it's at this balance, blah, blah, blah. We're going to have to use the fingers and count today. I know, right? Kind of like telling time where I'm always like, use your fingers, guys. Okay? We're going to have to do that today. Then you'll find your finance charge. And remember, finance charge is just the monthly rate times your average daily balance. That's why before we do this, you had to find your monthly rate and your average daily balance so you can actually multiply them together. New balance, this is what's on your sheet, right? That tells you step by step how to find your new balance. Minimum payments, just take whatever percent is given to you. Like on the homework, you had a 5%. You just multiply it by the new balance. Total available credit, the maximum amount you're allowed to actually borrow on your card, subtract off what you already owe. Okay? So step by step for those of you who really want, like, here's how I do this. This is your lifeline. John? No. No. Yeah, I gave you guys way extended deadlines on the last one, and you know what? It still didn't work. So some of you still didn't do it. You did. And you're never here. Logan's never here. He turned his in, too. It's amazing, the 2 that are never here. A lot. It's still in double digits. It's a little better than that. I haven't recounted. I've had some submitted since then. No. Not really. So. All right, so let's go through this one. Guys, so the first thing, what do we do on that step by step? What's it say first to do? Add up all your payments. So do we have payments in here? Just one, right? It says payment. Anytime you're looking for the payments over here, it's going to have a minus in front of it. Why is a payment a minus? I took that away from how much I owe, right? That's why I'm subtracting payments. And normally we think about payments as adding, but like I'm taking it off of how much I owe. So payments and credits is 65. Bless you. This is one place I won't yell at you if you're missing a dollar sign because the boxes are kind of small. So I won't yell at you for missing dollar signs here. All right, what's the next thing on that list? New purchases. Can you see all your purchases? What should I do with them? Add them up. So, guys, shh, stop speaking right now because I have people who are confused and I can't talk over you. Right now, we just did step 1. I looked at any payments that were made. And now I'm on step 2, which is to add up all my purchases. So my purchases are right here, 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 and here. That was my payment. So I'm going to add up those other things. So 73.29 plus 123.82. No offense, I don't ever trust you guys. I still add them up. I've trusted students before and they were wrong, and then I have to go back and redo the whole thing. So 225.09. Do we see why I'm writing them where I am? They are literally labeled payments and credits, new purchases. Okay? Step 3, monthly periodic. I take my APR and I divide it by 12. Where do we get the monthly periodic at? Look, guys, look, right there. APR says 24.6. We have to divide this by 12. So it's 2.05%. All right, now here, guys, stop for a minute. I just said before we started, that was your lifeline telling you step by step what to do, because what did I say? It does not go in order of all these boxes. That's why I wanted you to highlight it, star it, whatever you needed to, so you know to look back at that. All right, number 4, this is the hardest one. This is where students will struggle, and let me show you why. Because, remember, average daily balance is normally like, I had 5 days at this, I had 6 days at this balance, whatever. It moved. We're fine. It glitched. All right. So guys, I need you to take a look. This is the hardest part because it does not break down for you how many days is at each balance, right? Is there even an ongoing balance going on for me right now? No, it doesn't even give me that ongoing balance so I can see it. So I will always make your start at the beginning of the month just to keep it easy for you, okay? So right now, what was the previous balance before how much did I owe before they gave me this? I owed $842.53. Previous balance, okay? So on September 1st, how much did I owe? On September 2nd, how much did I owe? On September 3rd, how much did I owe? What happened on September 4th? I added something to it. So how many days did it sit? It sat 3 days at this balance. September 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, it sat here. Because on September 4th, I bought something and it changed. So I have 3 days. I'll go ahead and write this over here. I had 3 days at $842.53. My pen changes. In that corner, it always changes. All right? So it sat for 3 days here. Are we okay with that, right? September 1st, 2nd, 3rd. Because I didn't buy anything. September 4th, what happened? I add 73.29. So I'm going to take the 842.53, my previous balance. September 4th, I spent 73.29. So I'm going to add 73.29. So my new balance is 915.82. It's, remember, this balance, this is like how much money I owe. So if I spent more, I owe more. It gets added on. Okay, how many days did I owe? So on September 4th, right, because that's the day I bought it, so it changed my balance. September 5th, did it change? September 6th? September 7th? September 8th? September 9th? September 10th? Oh, it changed there. So how many days did it sit there? 6 days. Okay, what happened on September 10th? So what do I do with the 123.82? I'm going to add that on. So now I'm at 1,039.64. The question is, how many days did it sit there? What day did it start there? The 10th, right? The 10th is when it changed. 11th, is it still there? How about the 12th? The 12th, it changes again. So how many days did it sit there? 2. 2 days it sat at that balance. So then on the 12th, what do I do with that? I'm going to add that on. So I'm going to add 623. So now I owe 1,045.87. Then the question again is, how many days did it sit there? It would be 8 days. So the 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th. But on the 20th, I did something else, right? So 8 days it sat there. So what happens with the payment? I subtract that. That's why it's helpful that it will always tell you that it's got the minus in front of it. Minus. Because again, think about this balance is how much you owe. So if I make a payment, that's less that I owe now. So we subtract that off of what we owe. Right. And that's why it's going to have a minus in front of it, which is helpful for you. So 980.87. How many days did it sit at that? So I made that payment on the 20th, 21st, 22nd. What happened on the 23rd? It changed. So 3 days it sat here. Okay? And then what happened on the 23rd? What am I going to do with that? I'm going to add that on. So 1,262. Now, here's the one that people mess up on all the time. Question is, how many days did it sit there? How many days are in September? There's 30 days in September. So there's 30 days. Now stop and think for a minute. How many days then did it sit? So on the 23rd, right? 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th, 30th. 8 days. And that is why people mess this up all the time. Because they're like, yeah, 30 minus 23, it's 7 days. We have to include the 30th. It counts that date. Now, so everybody stop for a second. Do you know how many days you should have now? How many days should you have? It should be 30. It's going to tell you how many days I should have. So before you actually do all the math on this, go back and look at your days. Do you have 30? So like Elena right away was like, oh, that's 7, because she did that subtraction wrong right there, where she thought, which is what most people do. They forget about it. But if you add these back up, she would have only had 29. That would have been a red flag. Something went wrong somewhere. Okay? So if you look back at all my days I got going on there. I got 30. Yeah, I got 30 days going on in there. All right, are we okay so far? Okay. So, Josh. I told you I'm going to always make sure you're short on the beginning of the month. So that's why we had September 1st, 2nd, 3rd. It changed on the 4th. Yeah, so mine will always be the 1st of the month just to make it easier for you guys. Are we okay? You okay so far? All right. So the next thing I do, I still have to find that average daily balance, which is what we did on Tuesday. So we got to add all those up. Yep, so let's add all those up. So 3, right, times 842.53 plus, we're doing all this math. So go ahead and do yours, I'll do mine, and we'll double check our answers together. Make sure you know how to do this, guys. Don't assume that you know how to do it and then you get it wrong. Right? All right, so double check what you guys have. I have 29,432.32. I just typed it in. Guys, it's typing buttons in a calculator. It's not like I did anything surprising there. I type fast.
I feel like Mrs. Sommer also texts really fast.
All right, so I find my average daily balance. I have to divide it by 30, right? That's how many days I have there. I should always double check it's exactly what it says here. Be that safeguard that you're checking that. So I get an average daily balance of 981.08. Very nice. You have to round that. Questions there. That is the hardest part, and I'm sure you can see why. If you mess up counting your days by 1 day off, it's wrong. What happens if your average daily balance is wrong? Everything else is wrong. So we just did 4. That was just 4. So I told you that is the hardest one because it takes the most work. 5, finance charge. Monthly rate times your average daily balance. This is what we were doing on Tuesday. So for the finance charge, you just take your monthly rate. So I'm going to do 0.0205 times my average daily balance, 981.08. All right, so that's what goes in finance charge. 981.08. Yes. So I got a finance charge of 2011. Guys, I need you to pay attention, and if you have questions, please ask. Because on your project, I'm not going to check your math on all of these. Because you were writing in all the things that you're buying on your own, so everyone's is different. I'm not, like, if you want me to do that, that's fine, but that's when I'm grading it. We'll find that out on Monday. We'll talk about your project then. Okay? So that was my finance charge. New balance. That's that whole line of stuff, right? Transaction and new purchases are the same thing. Kind of like interest and finance charge mean the same. Transactions, new purchases mean the same thing. All right, so finding new balance is what I'm doing next, right? That's when I just kind of use this all the way across. I start with my previous. I'm going to subtract this, and then everything else gets added. Right? That's what you should have that on your pink paper as well. So I start with the 842.53. I subtract my payment. Then I add on everything else. So 225.09, no late charge, and then 2011 for my finance charge. Good. 1,022.73. Yeah. Yep. This was, you wrote this on your pink sheet on Tuesday. It's this whole line. Previous balance minus your payments, blah, 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 blah. It's nice because it's all right in a row. Yep, so you can see where I did the minus this, plus, plus, plus. That's where I get it. Okay, next step. We did that one. Your minimum payment, you just take the minimum percent times the new balance. They told me my minimum payment is 4%. Just look at the top. Yeah, I just have it listed at the top. So I take my new balance, so 1,022.73, and I'm going to multiply that by 0.04. There you go. It'd be 40.91. You want to round that. And then your last step is the total available credit, which is just your credit line minus what? The new balance. So I take 5,000, and I'm going to subtract that new balance, the 1,022.73. $3,977.27. You wouldn't have to. They're, yeah, don't matter. What's wrong, guys?
Administration of COVID will be doing a recess. No, the whole thing. You're going to say thank.
It does say thank, but why doesn't it's a quote from Steve Jobs
The ones who are crazy enough to think
that they can change the world.
are the ones that do.
Yeah.
It's messy. It's also, I thought the K was an H for a long time.
It's okay. It is okay. Guys, how are we feeling after the first one here? All right, I want to do one more together. One more together, and then there's 3 of them in your notes. So we're gonna do the next one together, and then you're gonna do the third one on your own, and then there's one for your homework that you're gonna do on your own. So we're gonna get some practice. So you will get practice on your own. Yeah, I think there's only one on the test. Yeah. But refer back to your step by step, guys. Refer back to it. Okay, we're gonna go through one more together before I kind of let you go on your own. I will probably give you the steps on the test. I'll probably give them to you. Okay. All right. So here we go, guys. So on this first one, what's the first thing I find? Payments and credits. Did you have any payments? Now, what if there was more than one payment? What would you do? You'd add them together. Okay, but in this case, I just have the one, so 150. All right, what do I find next? New purchases. So how do I find that? Add them all up. So 175.82 plus 43.96 plus 12.62 plus 126.88. Right? I'm just adding them. Don't add the payment into that. Just add the things that you bought. Right. There you go. 359.28. That's us just adding up the things we bought, which are those 4 things. Okay? What's the third thing it says to do? The monthly periodic rate. How do you find the monthly? Good. You're going to divide this by 12. Now, guys, at this point, those 3 things should be the easy parts of this, right? Those you can get right even if you mess up the average daily balance. But if you mess up the average daily balance, then your finance charge, new balance, your minimum payment, your total available credit, and your average daily balance, you have 5 things that are going to be wrong. Okay? All right, so next is the average daily balance. This is the tricky one. Let's go back through, and I told you will always start on the first of the month for me. Okay? So how much did I owe before the statement came back to me? 432.85, starting with that previous balance. 432.85. How many days did it sit at that? I heard a 3, I heard a 2. October 1st, October 2nd. What happened on the 3rd? The 3rd it changed. So 2 days. The 1st and the 2nd, it sat at that balance. On the 3rd it changed. So 1st, 2nd. Because on October 3rd is when I made a payment, or I bought something at Walmart. Again, I always will start you at the 1st of the month. So the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, it changed. So for the next one, what do I have to do? Add. So 432.85, you're going to add what you bought at Walmart, 175.82. 608.67. Okay, how many days did it sit there? All right, so hold on. Which day do you start on? Which day did it change? The 3rd. That's the first day it changed, the 3rd. So 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th? 13th it changed. So it's 10. It's 10. There was that moment if you look at his hands like, how many fingers do I have? All right, that's 10. All right, on the 13th, I went to Party City. We need to add that on, 43.96. So So now we're at 652.63. All right, and then again, how many days? What day did it start at Party City? Did it change? 13th, 14th, the 15th. Did I count it or no? No, because it changed on the 15th. 2 days. 2 days. 2 days. All right. Taco Bell. I was really hungry. I spent $12.62 at Taco Bell. $665.25. So we added that on. All right. How many days did it sit there? What day did it change? 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th, 21st, 22nd, not the 23rd, right? So 8 days. 8 days. So I made the purchase on the 13th. It still sat there on the 14th. It got changed on the 15th. So, and then I'm going to minus the 150. I made a payment. 515.25. How many days did it sit there? What day did it change? 23rd, 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th. Do I count the 28th? No, because it changed again. So 5 days. 5 days. All right, and then Spirit Halloween. We're going to add that on, 126.88. Yeah, it's a costume place. Again, how many days? Now, again, there are 31. So I went to 28th, 29th, 30th. Do I count the 31st? Yes, because that's the end of the month. It didn't change again. So 4 days. Now, guys, let's talk for a minute, okay? I think it's easiest to count them. I think it makes more sense to like physically think, okay, it changed on this day and it didn't change, whatever. But take a look at these. Just look at your numbers. What's 13 minus 3? It's 10. 15 minus 13? It's 2. 23 minus 15? It is 8. 28 minus 23? It's 5. The only time that does not work is your very last one. Because 31 minus 28 is 3. But why do I have 4? I have to count the 31st. So you can just subtract them except for the last one. That last one, you have to include that extra day. Okay? Because it's including the 31st. Are we okay? Does that make sense? Just don't forget that last one, though, includes that last day. So you gotta add them up. But again, how do you double check to make sure you have the right? Yes, if you add up all these days you have, it better equal 31, because that's what it says. You should have 31. All right, guys, let's do this average daily balance then. Type it in. Don't say anything. I can't see my numbers. I'm not putting any down yet. Everybody stop speaking. Good. Good for you. You want a cookie? If I had one, I'd give you one, but I don't have one.
Wait, so we just talked to the average daily balance, right?
Yep, we're doing the average daily balance right now. All right. So double check me, guys. I have 18,724.43 divided by 31. All right, so this, where does that go? What did I just find? That's my average daily balance. So 604.01, guys. You probably got like 2 plus signs or something going on in there. All right. Okay, that was average daily balance. What's it say next to find on your step-by-step? Finance charge. How do you find a finance charge? Monthly rate times your average daily balance. So I'm going to take my average daily balance, 604.01. Hey, thanks. And I'm going to multiply that by what? So times 0.019. 48 cents. Good. $11.48. Yeah. Yeah, the box is small. Yeah. Yeah. Finance charge is just your average daily balance times your monthly percent. If you look at your step-by-step, I even wrote it on there for you. So I'm just taking the number I got here, 604.01, multiplying it by 0.019, because that's what 1.9% is. Yep. What do I find next? Then how do I find the new balance? This whole line, right? I do the line. Subtract your payment and then add everything else. So minus 150, 359.28. All right, so we should get 653.61. What do you find next? How do you find the minimum payment? Guys, don't assume the minimum payment's the same percent. I've changed it on you. I'll always have it at the top. So we take 0.035 and we multiply that by our new balance. So 653.61. 22.88. Should I just pay 22.88? No. I mean, it's better, but. And your last thing you find? Total available credit. So I just have to take the credit line and I subtract my new balance, right? So 653.61. Just because I have it available, does that mean I should spend it? No. I like to spend money too. Doesn't mean we always should. All right, guys, questions on this one? What should you do when you're working through these? What should you look at? The step-by-step I gave you, okay? I literally spelled it out for you. The only part I see people struggling is, again, on that average daily balance, counting up those days, okay? But again, count your days, make sure it totals whatever that number is down here. So here's what you guys need to work on the rest of class. You have one more example on here. You need to do this. Your homework that we checked today, there's one example on there. So you have two of these that you need to work on. If you want me to check them today to see if you did them right, I'll check them for you. We can make sure that you're doing it right. And then your chapter review, what you got yesterday, which I heard most of you did not even attempt to start. Some of you did. I appreciate that. But it is due tomorrow, all of it. Good. Okay. Review's due tomorrow. We're going to spend the first part of class going over the review, and then we have our test tomorrow. There is vocab. I'm glad you said that. If you didn't get it, it's in the basket over there. Nobody in that table turned theirs in yesterday. That's why. All right, guys. Quizlet. Again, if you want to look under there, it's Carrie_Solner. You can find mine. And it is the Chapter 4 vocab. Guys, I cannot guarantee you that we will have time tomorrow to play Quizlet before the test. If we have time, I will do that, but if we do, it's maybe going to be once, maybe twice, okay? So it is on your shoulders to study your vocab, okay? Hold on, I'll go back to it. You need to study your vocab. Yeah.